And this EMS fund is doing exactly what was presented to the members that were on this council 5 years ago. It would help purchase fire apparatus. It would help make improvements to our stations and our living conditions for our firefighters. It would improve the equipment that they use for life safety. We would be able to provide a more efficient service.
Oh man, I feel like I have been vindicated. Holy God, I've been vindicated and vindicated. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 years ago, in September of 2019, I sat parked in my driveway arguing with James King and his ilk and Jason Rogers, the old director of the Delaware County EMS, and his ilk, and a few others about how horrible Muncie Fire-Based EMS would be. And that I was just a liar, just trying to get things in for Dennis Tyler, and I was just a tool, And I said, enough. And I said, look, I'm done saying anything more about this. The bottom line is, in politics, it's not like the coin argument. It's not like you've got tails and heads. It's not like the answer is on or off. It's not like it's yes or no or black or white. It's a perception deal. It's like you're standing at the bottom of the 6 and telling me that it's a 6, and I'm standing at the top of the 9 telling you that it's a 9, while we're looking at the same thing and seeing it from the different sides. Oftentimes that's what happens in politics, and it's just a perception issue. However, there are these rare occasions where something's either a yes or a no. It is a black or a white. It is a 1 or it is a 0, on or off or whatever. And I said, this is not a situation like in normal politics. This is one side is telling the truth and the other side is lying flat out. So the future will happen, and it's just going to take time, and sometimes that's what it takes. But there will come a day, and sooner rather than later, where history will reveal one side of this argument being my side or Jason Rogers' side, or Eddie Bell's side versus Jason Rogers, or Dennis Tyler versus Jason Rogers, Dennis Tyler versus James King, fire-based EMS over non-fire-based EMS. One side would come out victorious, meaning it would be held up that one side would have been right and the other would have been wrong. And it wouldn't just be simply a perception issue. Whoever was right would have been telling the truth, and whoever was wrong would have been lying. Simply that was the case. And I said, let's just quit arguing about it. Let the chips fall where they may. And let's see what happens, because one of these days, one of us will be right and one of us will be lying. And I knew as early as September of 2020, just a year later, I had all the data that I needed to know that I was victorious. I was on the right side. We were right, and the other side absolutely had been lying. Lots of things occurred because of it. And I knew why they were lying. Delaware County EMS was a cash cow for the commissioners. That's the reason King fought it. I have always said, I don't care what the situation is. A smaller unit of government, if they want to provide a service for their citizens and they feel they can do it, they should always be given that ability. They should always have that right. If the state's doing something and the county says, hey, we think we can do this better for the citizens that live in our box, cool, go at it. If the county's providing EMS and the city says, or a town says, hey, we think we can do this better, cool, go at it. The city stepped up and said, we think we can do this. We think it'll be beneficial. The county did not want them to. It wasn't about saving lives. It wasn't about calls for service. It wasn't about ALS or BLS. It wasn't about any of that. It was about James King did not want to lose a cash cow, because the Delaware County EMS, that was the gold standard, the EMS program that was saving lives and kick ass and was awarded honors all over the country, was in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. By 2017, 2018, 2019, they weren't the same people. They were not ran by the same people, and service had went down. They were burnt out. They had been in a war zone with the opioid epidemic and the shootings and the stabbings and the shit that goes on in Muncie. You can take a policeman, a sheriff's deputy, a firefighter, a paramedic in Delaware County and give them 3 or 4 or 5 years in Delaware County, and they could go anywhere else in the state or outside of the state and get paid tons more because of the experience. We're not Chicago. We're not New York. We're not Indianapolis, but we have a massive call volume for our police, fire, and EMS. It is what it is. True story. It's like a whole different world in public safety here. So the county did not want to lose that. But at the end of the day, the city was right, and I am so happy that we are proven right. And what he just said right there, and this man wasn't even part of it. This man's reaping the benefits of it. The chief in this case, the fire department in this case, this council wasn't part of it. This mayor wasn't part of it. And I want to say right now on the record, Dennis Tyler, for all the good or the bad or whatever else anyone said about you, you did a damn good thing with Fire-Based EMS. And to hell with everybody else. Eddie Bell, you did a hell of a job with Fire-Based EMS. Rachel Clark, you did a hell of a job with Fire-Based EMS. And screw anybody else that says anything different. The three of you and the people that you had around you that helped fight that, you guys and girls that built this up from nothing to what it is, you guys did a massive service for the citizens. The amount of lives that will be saved because of it, you guys own part of that. And for whatever bad happened, you guys did right by this, and you need to be honored because of it.
And this EMS fund is doing exactly what was presented to the members that were on this council 5 years ago. It would help purchase fire apparatus. It would help make improvements to our stations and our living conditions for our firefighters. It would improve the equipment that they use for life safety. We would be able to provide a more efficient service to the citizens of Muncie. And it's done that. We don't have to come to the general fund to ask for money for truck purchases, for equipment purchases. We figure them in, we encumber them here, and we make sure that our equipment is in the best shape it can be. And we need to improve more. We are still improving. We are still building our ambulance service. We're still getting those things to the level we want for our people. So we're willing to work, but this is where we are. Those are true facts. Those are true numbers right there. And that's where we are right now. So I thank you.
Thank you.
We will see you tomorrow. Peace.